Salvete discipuli. Today's lesson is the first lesson in chapter 16 in Latin for the new millennium. And today we're going to learn how to form the perfect active indicative for all conjugations. And that's actually kind of exciting. So as you guys have learned, the present system, which is made up of the present tense, the future tense, and the imperfect tense, forms a little bit differently based on whether the verb is a first conjugation or a second conjugation, third IO, fourth, whatever. Here's the beautiful thing about the perfect system. The perfect system, which refers to three tenses as well, refers to the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect, forms the same way for all conjugations. This is so exciting. You don't have to learn different rules. You learn one rule, and that's how you form the perfect. That's great. Now, we call it the perfect system because all three of these tenses, the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect, form from the same stem. Okay, we need to get the perfect stem. Before we get into how to get the perfect stem and all that stuff, we'll do that on the next slide. Let me just tell you what the perfect tense is. It's a past tense, but it shows completed action. So it translates I loved, I have loved, or I did love. Okay, and usually the did love is the way that you translate it sort of in a question, right? So did I love him? I did. Something like that. And don't ask me what the Latin for is, because I don't think there is one. Anyway, now also remember you have learned a past tense before. You've learned the imperfect tense, but the difference is that the perfect tense tells you a completed past action. I loved, right? Something to just happen in the past, the action is completed. The imperfect shows continuous past action. This is why it translates used to love or was loving or something like that. So this is one of the many reasons why you got to be careful in how you translate the imperfect tense, because you can't just translate it as a simple past in English, because that's how we render the perfect tense, okay? So how do you form the perfect tense? First, you need to get the perfect stem, okay? So you get the perfect active stem, and this is right here. Here, I'll even highlight it, or not, because I think I'm getting everything but the actual pen. Yeah, see, no pens. Oh, well. You remove the I ending. Okay, the I ending is what's important here. From the third principal part, okay? So all of this time that I have been having you memorize the four principal parts of a verb, there's always been a reason. And it's so that you can fully conjugate the verb in all of its tenses and voices, okay? Now you know why we need the third principal part. We need it to form the perfect active stem. And there isn't really a pattern like the second principal part. The second principal part is going to be ARE, ERE with the macron, ERE with the omicron, IRE. The third principal part has so many different forms. So for fluo, the third principal part is fluxy. So I want you to write down in your notes, what would the perfect stem be for fluxy? For sto, the third principal part is steady, which is sort of irregular for the first conjugation, which tends to have a pattern you can follow. For all of these verbs, I would like for you to write down what the perfect stem would be, and we're going to go over it in class. So when I check your notes, I'll be checking that you did this too. So make sure you get this in your notes, okay? Rogo, third principal part, rogawi. Aprimo, oppressi. Ardeo, arsi. Deleo, delewi. Skio, skiwi. And facio, fakey. So, you know, it can, the third principal part, since it can be so different, you just have to memorize the four principal parts of verbs. It's just true. Also notice how different the third principal part can be from the first. So if you got a perfect verb, fakey, in a sentence, and you didn't know what that meant, and you went to look up maybe facio, you wouldn't find it because its first principal part is facio. And that's true. Like, for example, to burn, arsi its first principal part is ardeo. So very often you do have the change of a vowel or change of a consonant. So just more reasons why you just have to memorize your 4 principal parts, okay? Okay, once you have the perfect stem, you add the perfect endings. You're only learning the perfect tense today, obviously. And the perfect endings are e, isti, it, imus, istis, erunt. And just like you did with the OST, MUS, TIS, and T, I just suggest that you guys chant it until you memorize it. So, how do you form the perfect tense? You need your perfect active stem plus e, isti, it, imus, istis, erunt, and that's it. It's that easy. So I'm going to go through and show you a couple examples. I do want you to write these examples down, okay? So maneō, manēre, mānsī, mansūrum. If we take the I off of the third principal part, our perfect stem, of course, becomes māns. And that's what the stem that we're going to add the perfect endings to. So mānsī, mānsisti, mānsit, mānsimus, mānsistis, mānserunt. And then I've gone through the ways that you can translate it. I'm not going to go through that in this video because you can write them down, and you should be writing them down, okay? Capiō, to take, its third principal part, cēpī. We remove the I and we get cape as our perfect active stem. So cēpī, cēpisti, cēpit, cēpimus, cēpistis, cēpīrunt. So cēpīrunt being they took, or they have taken, or they did take. And then our last example is going to be veniō, venīre, vēnī, ventum. Now, I want you to notice that this is a 4th conjugation verb, which means when we get the present stem for this verb, it's going to be ven. When we get the perfect stem for this verb, it's going to be ven. And you may notice that the only difference between the two is the presence or absence of a macron. So this is one of those important macrons, okay? So vēnī, vēnisti, vēnit, vēnimus, vēnistis, vēnērunt. On this last slide, I remind you of a number of verbs that we have learned where the perfect stem and the present stem are going to be pretty much identical with the exception of the macron, which makes that macron very important. For example, fugit is the third person singular present active indicative. But fugit with that macron is the third person singular perfect active indicative. So that's an important macron. And again, it's because the principal parts of fugio are fugio, fugere, it's a third IO, fugi with that macron. This is true of a couple of different verbs that you have learned or will learn. It's true of veniō, right? Venī versus vēnī. Venī, without the macron, is the second person singular present active imperative, but vēnī with the macron is the first person singular perfect active indicative. And so that macron becomes very important. It's true in the third person singular, it's true in the first person plural. You will be learning in veniō, I think, in some future chapter. This means it's a compound of veniō, it means to find. And then lego, which means to read or to choose. Legate versus legate. This is vocab in this chapter. Legimus versus legimus. Okay. All right. I hope you have a lovely evening. Please make sure you have taken thorough notes on this video, and I will see you in class. Volete.